What exactly is the big scandal involving Jimin and Jungkook? Why do you speak 1,000 languages? Army, are you ready for the unexpected? Like, comment, and subscribe for the hottest updates. Is there really something very serious that HYBE is hiding? How could two of BTS's most beloved members, Jimin and Jungkook, suddenly become entangled in a huge scandal that rocked the K-pop world? And more importantly, why did an agency as big as HYBE choose to be silent and shut their mouths tightly? What is really happening behind the scenes, which has so far escaped the attention of loyal fans, the ARMY? Is this just a rumor or a fact that will change everything? These questions now fill fan discussion rooms and online forums, creating a wave of unease and wild speculation. Armies from around the world are pressing for answers, hoping for the clarity they so desperately need. However, instead of an explanation, all that appeared was a confused silence on the part of HYBE. Why? What is really hidden? Before we dive any further into this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you guys believe this is all just a media drama? Or is there something darker going on? BTS, the global boy band that has changed the face of the music industry, is always in the spotlight. Jimin and Jungkook, two of the group's brightest stars, are known for their clean reputations and dedication to art and fans. However, in recent days, the news circulating actually reversed direction. An unprecedented scandal erupted like a violent storm that threatened their image. This scandal is not just ordinary gossip. Some reliable sources claim that there was a serious incident involving Jimin and Jungkook personally and professionally. Although HYBE has not officially issued any statement, this rumor spread quickly among the ARMY and social media, bringing an unimaginable stir. The information leaked to the public shows a complex internal conflict, which not only threatens the relationship of the two idols but also affects BTS's ongoing projects. There are also rumors of tremendous psychological pressure facing both members, which may be at the root of this problem. This opens up a big question. Is HYBE ready to weather this storm, or have they chosen silence for the sake of image? HYBE, as an agency that has been known to be very professional and quick to respond, has now chosen to remain silent in the midst of this storm. Their closed attitude raises many question marks. Usually, when faced with controversy, HYBE always provides quick clarification to dampen speculation and maintain fan confidence. But this time it was different. They seem to be taking a shut-up 1,000 languages approach, which fuels wild speculation that there is something bigger and more serious they are covering up. Is this a strategy? Or is it that the problem is much more complicated than can be explained by ordinary statements? On the other hand, the fans were frustrated and confused. They demanded transparency and clarity, hoping that Jimin and Jungkook could get full support, not only from the agency but also from the ARMY community. A great dilemma is created between the desire to protect the idol and the need to know the truth. In today's digital world, information is leaking faster than ever. Some clues regarding this scandal begin to emerge, although HYBE tries hard to cover up. Photos that appear to have been taken secretly, unexpected messages circulating, to cryptic statements from people close to BTS are starting to add layers of mystery. One of the most shocking clues came from an anonymous source who claimed to know the situation behind the scenes. This issue is not just about personal mistakes, it is about the tremendous pressure that comes from global demands and expectations that are almost impossible to meet. Furthermore, the clues hint at a split in the production and management team that has never been exposed. As if there is a dark side that has been hidden behind BTS's resounding success, which is now starting to unfold little by little. This scandal left millions of soldiers around the world shaken. Those who had idolized Jimin and Jungkook felt betrayed and confused. Is this a test for idols? Or is there something bigger they don't know yet? The reaction of fans was mixed. Some are angry, some are sad, some are trying to provide full support. Expressions of love and solidarity flooded social media, with hashtags supporting Jimin and Jungkook becoming trending topics. However, on the other hand, there are also negative comments and skeptics who demand truth and transparency. This caused tension among the fans themselves. The biggest surprise was how this case opened up the human side of the idols, which had always been perfectly visible in the eyes of the public. This scandal is not just an ordinary gossip story. This is a big test for BTS as a group and HYBE as their agency. If not handled properly, the impact can be fatal, not only for the careers of idols, but also for the loyalty of fans who have supported them for years. Amid this tremendous pressure, an important question arises. How will BTS and HYBE rise from this crisis? Will they be able to repair a relationship that may be broken? Or will this scandal be a turning point that brings big changes? All eyes are now on HYBE. Great expectations accompany every step they take. Will HYBE open the veil of this mystery and give the answer that the army is waiting for? Or will they keep their mouths shut and let the rumors continue to spin? What goes on behind the scenes of HYBE turns out to be much more complicated and dark than most people can imagine. The source, who did not want to be named, revealed that there were sharp differences of views between the management and the BTS members, especially Jimin and Jungkook. That said, this scandal is not just a personal matter, but also rooted in the business and political pressure of the Korean entertainment industry that never stops demanding merciless perfection. Just imagine. Two figures who have been considered flawless stars must struggle to face the shadows of hope that the world is never enough. They reportedly had a hard-fought clash with management about their career direction and public image. There are rumors that Jimin and Jungkook are starting to feel constrained by the strict rules imposed by HYBE, to the point that tension arises that can no longer be hidden behind the scenes. More surprisingly, some insiders say that this scandal is related to issues of trust and loyalty that are beginning to crack. It is not only a matter of professionalism, but also of personal relationships that have been built with great difficulty. Are the parties to the agency beginning to take advantage of this situation in their own interests? Is there a conflict of interest that is deliberately covered up to maintain BTS's great image in the eyes of the world? On social media, wild speculation is circulating more and more uncontrollably. Some associate this case with psychological pressure that has long accumulated, even touching on mental health issues that have been trying to hide in order to maintain popularity. In fact, Jimin and Jungkook reportedly experienced tremendous emotional exhaustion, but they stubbornly tried to remain perfect in front of the public. No wonder that tension finally broke out in an incident that is now the center of global attention. As if that wasn't enough, there are also rumors about outside interference trying to take advantage of this situation to corner BTS. Some netizens even attributed this scandal to the increasingly fierce competitive dynamics of the Korean entertainment industry, where everything is done to bring down rivals. In a world where image is everything, this kind of scandal can be the deadliest weapon. Most surprisingly, there are sources who say that HYBE was actually aware of the potential explosion of this scandal long before it all became public. However, they choose to keep their mouths shut and ignore it in the hope that the problem can be resolved internally. The silent approach they took actually made the situation even more heated and uncontrollable, generating great stress for all parties involved. On the other hand, some fans began to question HYBE's commitment to her artist welfare. Did the agency really prioritize Jimin and Jungkook's happiness and mental health? Or did they focus more on profit and pseudo-image? This is a very provocative and painful question for many ARMY who have believed and supported BTS unconditionally. Fans' emotions were heightened when vague statements emerged from several other BTS members that implied deep sadness and disappointment. It's as if there's a widening emotional distance between them, adding a layer of complexity that makes this scandal so much more than an ordinary controversy. This is a split that will probably shake the foundation of the BTS brotherhood for a long time. While the world is still trying to digest this horrendous news, there is another layer of controversy that is beginning to surface and shake even deeper. Not only about the internal pressure at HYBE, but there are darker and provocative issues surrounding this case. Issues that could shake the entire Korean entertainment industry and even the world. A dark secret that has been hidden neatly is now beginning to unfold little by little. Several inside sources close to HYBE executives revealed that the scandal involved suspicious financial transactions. There are strong allegations that some of the funds that were supposed to be allocated for the welfare of the artists were simply misappropriated for the benefit of those far from the public. This information not only caused an uproar, but also sparked serious questions about the integrity of HYBE's management. How could an agency of this magnitude, which has so far been considered the best example, be involved in such a near-corrupt practice? What exactly is hidden from the fans and the public? More provocatively, There are rumors circulating about the involvement of an influential third party in the Korean entertainment industry who is using this scandal as a tool to bring HYBE down. This conspiracy-looking thriller plot raises suspicions that Jimin and Jungkook are actually just victims in a very large and complicated game of power politics. If this is true, then not only their good name is threatened, but also the stability of the entertainment industry, which has been considered stable and professional. On the other hand, mental health issues that have often been hidden behind the sweet smiles of idols are now in the spotlight. Confessions from several reliable sources say that the pressure received by Jimin and Jungkook has exceeded human limits. Instead of getting the support they deserve, they feel trapped in a system that forces them to suppress their emotions and even hide their suffering. This raises an important question. Has K-pop idol culture turned into a modern form of exploitation? Meanwhile, the fans, who have always been BTS's main stronghold and source of strength, are now at a very complicated emotional crossroads. Between a deep sense of love and a hard-hitting disappointment, they must come to terms with the harsh reality that the idol they worship does not escape blemishes and controversy. On social media, heated debates raged. Some demanded transparent explanations from HYBE, while others chose to maintain unconditional loyalty. This is a battle between idealism and reality, to which it is not easy to find an answer. Furthermore, the impact of this scandal began to be felt by other artists under HYBE's auspices. The calm that had been characteristic of this large agency began to crack, and uncertainty haunted many. There are fears that this case could set a bad precedent that triggers a wave of internal unrest, breaking up the union that has been the strength of BTS and HYBE. How will the agency manage this crisis? Do they have a strategy that can reunite all parties, or just deepen the wound? One thing that is no less provocative is how HYBE chose to remain silent and ignore the need for transparency in the midst of this storm. The shut-up attitude they did actually caused wild speculation that was getting crazier, making the public and fans even more restless. Is this the wrong silent strategy? Or is there a compelling reason they haven't been able to reveal? These questions hang and wait for answers, keeping all eyes on HYBE's next move. What's more, there are rumors that outside pressure, including the government and major investors, played a role in how the scandal was handled, adding to an increasingly difficult layer of controversy. What is the relationship between big business and the entertainment world? How much influence do they have in determining the fate of idols and agencies? This is not just gossip, but a serious issue that reflects how complex and fragile the industry is. Amid all the controversy and provocation, one thing is clear. This story is not just about Jimin and Jungkook. It's not just about HYBE. It's a big picture of how pressure, power, and expectation can tear apart the humanity of the stars we idolize. Are we as spectators and fans ready to face this harsh reality? Or will we still be trapped in the beautiful illusion that has been created? I invite you to continue to follow the development of this story with an open mind and a heart full of empathy. Don't forget to share your opinions in the comments, like this video if you feel the same vibe, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates that we will present honestly and impartially. Your voice is very important in the midst of this great turmoil. The news that continues to roll around the BTS scandal has not only become public consumption, but has turned into a battleground of opinion full of intrigue and controversy. Shortly after this news surfaced, it was claimed that HYBE was deliberately pressuring BTS members to maintain their image in front of the world, even in ways that almost violate human rights. There were rumors of extreme psychological pressure that left some members on the verge of mental collapse, but forced to keep everything for the sake of career and corporate satisfaction. Furthermore, anonymous sources mentioned that in an effort to quell the scandal, HYBE used controversial methods involving media regulation and aggressive narrative control. Not a few have even accused the agency of data manipulation and the use of fake social media accounts to divide and discredit critics and fans who have begun to question the agency's policies. This kind of action sparked outrage and raised serious questions about the ethics of management in the entertainment industry, which is said to be very professional. In this wave of scandals, there is also the sensitive issue of how stereotypes and discrimination in the Korean entertainment world come into play. Some insiders revealed that the pressure faced by BTS members came not only from management, but also from very rigid standards of beauty and image, as well as covert racism that has been considered taboo to talk about. This opens up old wounds that have left many artists feeling confined and forced to meet inhuman expectations. Amid the uproar, a number of fans and even celebrities began to question the extent to which BTS and HYBE actually have freedom of expression and personal decision-making. Are they really free to choose a career path, or just puppets in the larger game of the industry? The controversy has also stirred debate about transparency and responsibility in the entertainment world, where issues such as mental health and exploitation are often overlooked in favor of material gain. A most provocative claim comes from a former employee of HYBE who has now chosen silence in exchange for a large sum, stating that there is tremendous pressure to cover up facts that harm the reputation of the agency and its idols.